Myself, Sunny Sonam, and the reason why I feel like to do this protest is against the Chinese communists, how they are celebrating around the world saying that 100 years of happiness, right? But when you look at it, it's not happiness, right? How many lives we lost. Let's talk, I'm a Tibetan. Let's talk about Tibetan people. My grandfather was in jail for 10 years. And more than like 100 million people had to escape, right? Look at our His Holiness 14th Dalai Lama. He had to escape when he was like 23 years old, right? And now, same as East Turkestan. And now, look at the Hong Kong, right? Now they are targeting Taiwan. So that's why I feel like this protest must happen. That's the reason I reach out to other communities, like Hong Kong, East Turkestan, Taiwanese. And I always tell them, we need to stick together because unity is the power, right? So that's what we are here.
Well, you mentioned about your grandfather, how the Communist Party treated him. So in general, how do you think the Chinese government has treated the Tibetans?
Oh, when you talk about Chinese government how treated the Tibetan, they didn't treat like you don't have a basic human right, right? If you want to talk about like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, right? There's no basic right. You have to stay under Chinese government what they are asking for, right? So we don't have let's talk about like language. Let's talk about the religion. There's always an issue. There's always an issue. And recently, last month, I think 2 months ago, one of the mother, her kids were studying in India. She sent her money to her kids. And she was beaten up in jail and she's died. Her name was Hamo, if I'm not wrong. So we have a lot of cases like this. Even inside Tibet, almost more than 157 Tibetans self-immolated, asking for freedom and asking for basic human rights inside Tibet. But Chinese government is showing to other world saying that, oh, Tibet is living such a, all Tibetan people are happy, liberation. That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. If our brothers and sisters are really happy inside our own country, I won't be doing this. I'll be right now in long weekend, having camping, fun with my friends. But I know the reality. There's a lot of our own brothers and sisters still suffering inside Tibet. Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your advocacy and what your organization is trying to promote here?
So the organization that I'm volunteering right now is the Tibetan Youth Congress. The organization that I'm volunteering, our main headquarters is in Dharamsala, India. That organization is one of the oldest organizations in Tibetan community. We've been for almost 50, this October will be 51 years. So it's fully volunteer, and the organization that I'm volunteering, Chinese government take this organization as a terrorist. Yes, we are terrorists, but we are terrorists with the peace. We are terrorists with the pen and voices. That's what we are, because we are follower of His Holiness 14th Dalai Lama. So that's what. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about, if you have a chance, what would you like to say to the Canadian government, or what do you think the Canadian government can do to support the Tibetans, especially those living in Canada?
Yeah, I want to say to Canadian government that we can help our Tibetan people talking about basic human rights inside Tibet. Whenever the Canadian government talk about human rights, right? They always hesitate to mention Tibet. They should not be. We are the one who's been suffering for almost 62 years. Almost 62 years. Chinese communists took our country in way back in 1950-59 was the uprising day. So Canadian government should really stand up and talk about like our people and our basic human rights. That's what we want. Thank you.
I want to ask the last question. What do you want to say to Hong Kongers or Canadians in general? What do you think they can do to support the Tibetans or your group?
What I want Hong Kong living abroad, like Canada, US, or everywhere abroad, right? We need to stick together. Don't work alone. Stick together. Try to make friends with Tibetan people. Try to make friends with East Turkestan. Try to focus on one enemy. The enemy is CCP. That's why I always engage with other community. Let's work together. If there's a unity, there's a power. That's what we want. That's what I'm saying. And we need to be more open-minded. We need to put our ego down, as Dalai Lama always says. His Holiness Dalai Lama always says, "Don't be I," right? We need to fight for our brothers and sisters suffering inside. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that. Yeah,